I'm not going to do my Backstreet Boys impression. Our next speaker is a holistic health practitioner, a local blogger and pillar of the community. Let's have a big round of applause for Diane Feldt.
I have 5 minutes to talk about one of the most fascinating and well-researched insects in the entire world. So let me start with a few numbers for you. There's over 20,000 species of bees. There's over 3,500 in North America. And bees right in this area. But the actual honeybee is not native to this area. It was introduced from Europe in the 1600s, along with a multitude of trees, flowers, and agricultural crops that we depend on and that we need the bees to pollinate. I've been fascinated with honeybees since about 2nd grade when I saw an educational film strip about them. But I thought you have to live in the country to have hives. But then 25 years ago I met a beekeeper and he said, no, you could do it in the city and your garage roof would be a perfect place to do it. So that's what I did. I found that carrying 30 pounds of honey down the ladder when there's a bunch of suspicious bees following you was actually a little difficult. So now my hives are on the ground. And it is a lot of hard work to do that. Now there's 20 to 40,000 bees in a hive. And you might wonder, how do you get them to do what you want them to do? And really the answer is that you always ask them to do things that a bee would want to do, and nothing else. And it's great to see a hive active and working together cooperatively and very perfectly. Bees are pollinators. They're gentle and they're focused on that task. Now the wasps are more likely to harass and sting people for no apparent reason. And the bees often get blamed for bad wasp behavior. The honeybees are in danger, and so are we. We've imported the trees and plants and the honeybees to pollinate them. And if the environment is toxic for our bees, then what about us? Honey is more than just a sweet. We have documented their healing properties of honey for wounds, infections, and allergies. And we have pictures and archaeological evidence that we've been collecting honey for over 8,000 years. It's been found in Egyptian pyramids in very well-preserved state. You can actually eat it. This is honey in frames. You cut off the frame top and then you put it in the centrifuge. You spin it and then the frames are returned to the hive so that the bees can reuse them. So it turns out that honeybees can actually thrive in cities because there's always something flowering. Now my friend had bees in her garage and asked us to move them. So when the honey stores were down in the spring, we did that using tools that most beekeepers don't have to use. When we opened up the garage, this is what we found. The bees made this on their own. And I can tell you that it smells as good as it looks. So we smoked them, we sprayed them with sugar water, and we scooped them up, we put them in an unused hive, and no one was stung that day, even though we ripped apart and destroyed their home. This was a swarm that had moved in, and swarms are masses of worker bees that gather around a queen, and they're just looking for a new home. You can find swarms downtown, they're hanging from trees, they're on your bike, they're in an awning, they're all kinds of places. So they're just going to stay for a couple of days. They send out scouts looking for a new place. So you can leave them alone, but they're easy to capture or relocate, or indeed you can let them be. So you can keep bees in the city. All you have to do is find a swarm, or you could buy a package. They need a protected space with unobstructed flight lines and also some warmth in the morning. This is a newly released package of bees. You can see the hive construction is the hive body, and then there's these hanging frames. Each of the frames has a foundation that is a wax foundation, and the bees use that to create the cells. Now just 21 days later, there's newly born workers ready to go to action and support the hive. Now in Michigan, usually new hives are initiated in late April or the first week in May. You need pretty simple equipment like this. You can stay pretty basic and set up a hive for about $200, or of course you can spend more. There's a smoker, that's a pretty simple basic piece of equipment, and the rest of the list is there. You can also buy a full bodysuit if you want, or you can improvise. You wear white when you're working with bees, stay away from perfumes, and tuck everything in. Or here's another use for duct tape. You can actually use it that way. So I hope that you can find a way to sit by a hive on a summer day And don't get in their way because they want to keep moving fast. But enjoy the hum of a happy hive, the colors of the pollen coming back from the fields, the beauty of their flight, and also their really simple communication. The bees need your help. You can support local beekeepers by buying their honey, call in beekeepers and not bee killers when you see a swarm, and also organic practices save our bees. And you can also decide that maybe you can keep a honeybee hive at your house. Thanks.
That Linda's actually organizing an Ignite-style event to celebrate the 40th anniversary of the co-op, the food co-op.
People's Food
right?
Co-op. Yes, People's Food Co-op.
And that's going to be
in June, and it will be about co-ops in general.
Co-ops in general. So that's something to look out for. Thank you.
Thank you.